Hi, Punita.
Hey,
Welcome to Global
hi.
Influencers Hub. Here
Thank you
we
so
talk about the
much.
life journeys of social media influencers,
Thank
and
you.
we cannot wait to deep dive into yours. So tell us about when we talk about deep diving, we actually mean starting from your childhood, from where actually your journey began. So tell us about how Punita was as a child.
Yeah, so I started my journey in corporate like about in 2004. But let me come back to where I grew up and where I'm from. So my name is Punita and I'm in Mumbai. I'm a Gujarati by religion, and I have been living all my life in Mumbai city, studied in Mumbai, worked in Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai. As a child, I was definitely very, very shy, very, very reserved. Uh, I was a little underconfident at times in school because when teachers used to ask me to go up and go in class and speak about a subject, it would be a little difficult for me. But then I went to college, studied psychology major. That's when I started understanding the mindsets of people, the psychology of people. And after my college, I went and started working in a corporate company called CNBC TV 18 in Mumbai. I spent
Mhm.
about 10 years with CNBC TV 18, where we used to handle so much pressure, competition, swiftness, the whole idea of multitasking. And that's when I realized that yes, I'm capable of doing much, much more, and handling pressure, handling stress. And all those days in my childhood when I used to be underconfident and shy and not very spoken, that same young girl became a very confident, speaking in front of the camera, facing fears, being a hustler, being driven, being active happened. So I spent 10 years with CNBC TV 18 in Mumbai doing marketing and content. And then I spent the next 10 years in a company called Times Network in Mumbai as well. So I spent close to 18 to 19 years in the corporate space doing marketing, content, strategy, so on and so forth. And now, since about 5 years, I'm working with a lot of founders, companies, SMEs, startup owners, and I'm helping them build on LinkedIn. So that's who I am.
Wonderful. Was there a defining moment where you thought that, this is what I want to do? Like,
So
how
what,
did you transition from your, corporate career to being completely on your own?
so what happened is I knew as 16 years of work experience I had, I knew that what I was a marketer. My skills as marketing was very clear as a content marketer. So once I identified who I am and what my skills are, then I put my skills into marketing myself and putting myself out there to educate audience about marketing, about strategies, about branding, so on and so forth. And the minute I started putting my knowledge out there, Devika, what happened was automatically the audience started understanding me for who I am, started understanding my services. And that's how they said, you know what, we also want to hire you for your marketing services. So that's how the transition happened from corporate to solopreneurship, and now I'm an entrepreneur. And after spending 17, 18 years in the corporate world, I was feeling very, very drained out, very, very burnt out. And one fine day, I just quit in March 2020, knowing only one thing, that I have my brands as my thappa, as my the work experience, and I have my experience and my skill in marketing. I just took these two things, my experience and the brands I work with, and I started marketing myself and putting myself out on LinkedIn. The minute I did that, people started knowing me for who I am and started asking me for my services.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what do you think is the one thing that people get completely wrong about LinkedIn personal branding?
So I feel you can be anybody on this planet. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a housekeeping person, you can be anybody. If you know who you are, and if you know what you are known for, you have to just go out there and start educating your audience. The more and more you do that, automatically your audience starts knowing you, and that's how they start buying your services. So just about identifying your niche and understanding who you are.
Wonderful. So, what is your go to strategy for someone who's actually looking to stand out in this crowded place?
Very simple. I would request them or I would tell them to follow a three-step process. Step number one is I would first tell them to optimize their LinkedIn profile because it's very important the audience knows who they are. That's my step number one. My step number two is I would tell them to create an entire content strategy where I would tell them that whatever your domain is, you have to start creating content topics around that. And once these topics are created, then they can actually work on creating the actual content where they can put themselves out and start educating and empowering themselves.
Of course. Now, which LinkedIn feature do you think is underrated?
So I feel the most underrated feature which not many people are using is the video. People are not putting themselves out on video, and I truly feel the more and more you put yourself on video content, that's when people will start knowing you, and that's how the credibility will also increase. So video
Mhm.
content plays a very very key role.
So that's one of the key things that you think that presently
Absolutely,
people are not doing as much. So
absolutely.
wonderful, wonderful. Now, if LinkedIn was gone tomorrow, where would you turn to?
Twitter.
Twitter. Absolutely, very true, very true. So, what's one piece of advice that you would give to aspiring marketers?
I would tell them that marketing is a very huge domain. Hence, it's important to kind of niche your skills into say content marketing or maybe performance marketing or SEO marketing, and then optimize your profile and start putting yourself out there on LinkedIn because you never know who's watching and you never know where your new opportunity might come through.
Right. What's that one biggest mistake you feel young professionals make when trying to build their brand?
Trying to be too many things, like trying to be a doctor, trying to be a scientist, trying to be a yoga teacher. People do not want to get confused. It's important we focus on being just one niche and focusing on that and putting yourself out there.
Right. So that people are not confused as to, okay,
Exactly.
मैं अगर इसके
Exactly.
पेज में आऊंगी तो what am I gonna hire this person
Exactly.
for?
Exactly.
Right, right. So what's the most unexpected lesson that you have learned from being a personal branding expert?
The most unexpected lesson I've learned is when you put yourself out there, you keep getting clients, but no client is permanent. They'll come, they'll go, but you as a marketer have to keep going day in and day out, no matter what failures come through your way.
Of course, of course. If marketing was a sport, what position would you play and why?
I would play a batsman because in marketing you have to keep trying, being consistent.
Right, right. What's one marketing or branding advice you always give, but secretly you also struggle with?
Showing up consistently.
Ah, that's true. Yeah. That's almost a superpower that someone dreams of. Now, if you had to have a superpower, what would that be?
Get into the client's mind.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. So we'll just jump into some rapid fire now. And so describe your LinkedIn journey in one word.
Challenging, but lots and lots of opportunities.
Fantastic. The best LinkedIn post you've ever written.
About me building a weekend home in Alibag at the age of 40.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Speaking at a TEDx event or marketing or mentoring a group of aspiring marketers.
Mentoring a group of aspiring marketers.
Fantastic. A hobby that has nothing to do with marketing,
Sleeping.
of course. One person whose LinkedIn game you truly admire.
Justin Welch.
Okay, cool. Your go to stress buster activity.
Being with my newborn twins.
Oh my God. Oh. Great content or great networking?
Networking.
First. Accidentally like an old post or send a message to the wrong person.
Accidentally liking an own post.
Yeah. Well, you never know, maybe that wrong person can also become a big client of yours. Yeah. If you had 30 seconds to pitch yourself, what would you say?
I'm Punita Parekh and I'm a content marketer and I help lots and lots of brands and individuals build on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. One thing LinkedIn users should stop doing immediately.
One thing LinkedIn users,
Should stop doing immediately.
nothing.
Okay, cool. Which social media platform would you ban if you have the power?
Instagram.
One marketing myth you'd love to bust forever.
That marketing doesn't require consistency.
My God, marketing is something that only requires consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah. Superpower, mind reading or invisibility,
Mind reading.
of course. If you woke up tomorrow with zero followers, what's the first thing you'd do?
Optimize my profile into keywords that people want to know me for and start creating content.
Of course. Good. If you wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
The risk taker and the hustler.
Nice. Are you planning? Is there a book on the in the works?
No, no, no.
What's next for you?
Next for me is that I want to open a company with more than 50 to 60 people where
Hmm.
there are content marketers and content writers and graphic designers and we
Hmm.
at least build more than 500 LinkedIn profiles in a year.
Oh, fantastic! Wonderful. Your all-time favorite quote?
Keep going.
If someone Googled you, what's the one thing you'd want them to see first?
I'm a content marketer and I help brands build on LinkedIn.
One marketing guru you'd love to debate with?
Nothing.
A hashtag for your life?
Hustler.
If you could leave the audience with one golden rule for personal branding, what would that be?
One golden,
One golden rule for personal branding.
identify your niche.
That's a very, very important one. Yes. Cool. So I think we've covered most of it, and it was fantastic talking to you.
Me too, and you have a
Um,
wonderful, wonderful day.
yes. You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye bye.